Okay. Hello. Welcome back. Salam alaikum. By the way, a little heads up, I'll be saying salam alaikum. I'll try my best to say salam alaikum in the beginning of every episode. And for those who don't know what it means, it's pretty much how us Muslims greet people, and it basically translates to may peace be with you. So basically, may peace be with you. So this is technically the first proper episode that I will be discussing a proper topic. The previous one was just a little introduction to the whole thing. And so I've actually given this one a little bit of thought because I already have things that I have in mind to talk about. However, I don't really know how to structure them and whatnot, a little newbie to the community. But basically what I thought of discussing and what I thought most people need in general and nowadays, considering the fact that this journey is going to be more of self-help and self-improvement, is finding yourself. So what is finding yourself, and what do I mean by finding yourself? Basically finding yourself, or let me rephrase that to becoming who you are, is basically becoming the ideal person you want to be, or more of becoming that person you've always thought of. Let's say, for example, when you were a little kid, you always wanted to be this, wanted to be that, wanted to develop this, wanted to do that, but you were kind of stuck in a little, let's say, bubble where you weren't able to step out of it and kind of reach that ideal person, ideal character you've been wanting. And as for me personally, I'm gonna use a little bit of anecdotes or personal stories so y'all can relate. But as for me as a person, or personally, I literally I wasn't able to find myself for the longest bit of time, considering the fact that I have been changing environments for my entire life. I've lived pretty much not everywhere, but in 4 different countries, and they were quite different environments for me, and I was forced into new environments every 5 to 6 years, it's first of all, adapting into that environment was not easy. Dealing with the challenges and kind of dealing with the people in the society there was not easy at all. So I kind of had to build this what's it called, this kind of character or person that would satisfy those around me. So I would pretty much just fit in, because that's what we were trying to do here. Little me was trying to fit in, even though I did get bullied at some point, but it's fine. Funny me laughing about her trauma. But yeah, basically, so we were trying to fit in for most of the time. And I kept on facing a lot of challenges, and that's because I met a lot of people, met people from a lot of different backgrounds, different religions, different countries, different ethnicities, different language, different mindsets, different personalities, different characteristics, just very completely different, and that had its pros and cons. Its pros, I would say that I learned a lot from them. I would say that I got to see life in a different perspective. I got to understand people more, and I think that's what made me be interested in psychology in grade 10. I was actually very interested in learning the human's mind, and that's the name of the podcast, getting into the human's mind. But I was very interested into learning about people, just how people think, how people, act, why people act a certain way, and for that, purpose. So actually seeing a lot of people and meeting and interacting with them and communicating with them actually made me view things in life in a different perspective. I think I already said that. Why am I repeating myself? Anyways, so that's for its pros. And obviously I was exposed to very much different cultures, and that helped me educate myself, and become open-minded, basically, so as for the cons, don't get me started. I feel it's a long list, but basically for the cons, I would say that I just lost myself, like my friends, like I'm gonna name the countries. I thought that was kind of like exposing my identity, but basically I lived in Malaysia, and I lived in United Arab Emirates, and I lived in Egypt. Okay, and now we're United Arab Emirates again. But when I was in Malaysia, my friends there, if they met me now, yes, for the most part of it, it's because I'm older right now. I'm not the same age, but I'm definitely not the same person, you know? If I was 7 years old in UAE, and I would have compared that to 7-year-old me in Malaysia, they would be completely different people. Completely different. Like, my character and personality and just myself was like, girl, like, who is she, you know? And, like, let's not go that far. How about just the fact that when I lived in Egypt the past year, I was a completely different person. Okay, I did go through tough times. Okay, I wasn't really at the greatest place by that time, but I was completely different. I wasn't who I was because I was in a certain society that wasn't really the best, but I wasn't really myself. I lost my identity, and that's when reached the worst point of my life. But it was like that time where I actually became like, I camouflage with people. I camouflaged. When I tell you, I actually built this skill of being able to kind of imitate the person's personality in front of me. It wasn't nice because I've always dreamt of having my own personality. But alhamdulillah, now I won't say that I've reached where I am, but like we're slowly getting there. But alhamdulillah, now I'm confident enough in myself, and I've actually like overcame my insecurities, and I've overcame my like my bad habits and whatnot. And I told you that story, or like that little personal thing of mine, because I just want to tell you that it took me at least 18 years to actually figure out my shit. Like, it took me 18 years to actually know who is Habiba. Okay, like, no, not necessarily if someone asked me who are you, I would be able to tell them who I am. Like, I won't say I completely figured out myself like 100%, but for the most part of it, like 80% of it, I feel like I did. And I would say the biggest thing that actually helped me, in order to like figure out myself and actually like kind of like you know, someone sent me a notification. I forgot to turn on my shit. That is so embarrassing. Anyways, is a couple of things, but the first things first is patience. Patience. This is one thing that I've learned throughout my entire life, is that Inna Allah ma'as sabirin. And I have never, ever in my entire life have felt like living with a certain like concept, you know, is actually like it actually bring results into your life. What I'm trying to say is like actually being patient throughout your life actually brings the results, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Like, what I'm trying to say is like, be as patient as possible. I went through the toughest, like worst shit in my like previous life, like at least living in Egypt. Like, I say I hate Egypt, but like for the big part of it, it was very difficult, you know. At the end, I was kind of like enjoying it. I actually did want to stay there, but I'm glad that I didn't. But like, what did I want to say? Fucking shit. Don't remember. Being patient. I just want to tell you that I reached that point in my life where everything was so pointless. Everything was just black. I cried for like the amount of times I would cry, I would probably be like a billionaire right now. Like, you know, like I would cry every day. Like, crying was like blinking to me, if I would say, you know. And I just thought like life is pointless. Like, what's the point of living? Like, yes, I did actually reach the point of like life where I had suicidal thoughts. I was mute. Like, if I'm mute, what is my purpose in life? What is my purpose in society? What is my purpose in for living? You know, what's the point of living if I'm just gonna live mute? Like, might as well just, you know, like, this is not funny, but like, I'm serious here. Like, this is how I was, you know. And that's why I always tell people, if you see me now, because like people right now, when they see me in my university and just like people around, when they see me now, they always go like, oh my god, you're so cheerful. Oh my god, you're so energetic. You're so hyperactive. Girl, just not fast forward. Back forward. Reverse. Yeah, reverse. yeah, that to like last year, oh my god, I was a dead walking body, literally. So yeah, that was me. So what got me actually through it, the only thing I was holding on to life with a string, literally a string that was starting to like, erode, or whatever you call it. The English is not Englishing, you know what I mean. So yeah, I was holding on to life with that, and the only thing that just kept me going is that I was patient. And now the second thing I would say is tawakkul ala Allah. Seriously, we do not know anything in life. We're so clueless in life. I don't know what's gonna happen the next minute. I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I don't know what's gonna happen next year. So why am I carrying the world's, it's like a saying in Egypt we say, I think, لي شايلة هم الدنيا على ظهرك. Why are you carrying the world's worry on your back, if that makes sense, But that was me for the most part of it. I was always like that. Like, I would worry a lot, and like I forgot that Allah's the planner. Allah huwa al-alim, huwa al-rahim, and He was the one who plans out my life. And if I just trusted Him a little bit, if I just, khalas, like I would be able to like continue walking and continue my path in life. So I should have done that. Obviously it's not easy. That's the point of living. You like keep on doing mistakes, and then you eventually like learn from them. But basically what I'm trying to say is tawakkul. Just tawakkul ala Allah in everything, in whether if it's on a bigger scale or a smaller scale, in your exam, in buying something, in doing something you like and you don't like. The podcasting, I just like, tawakkaltu ala Allah. Like, I didn't know how to start it actually. Like, I don't really have the equipment. I'm just here using my phone in my room. That's it. That's pretty much what I'm doing. Like, I don't really have the equipment. I was looking shit up on Amazon, and I was like, that's too expensive. My allowance would not fit. So I just, I was like, tawakkaltu ala Allah, and I got this, because it's what I want to do, and I think it's beneficial for people. I hope. I genuinely hope. Yeah, so that's the second thing. The third thing I would say is never, as cliche as it sounds actually, because a lot of people be like, yeah, we've heard that before. No, actually, you've heard it, but you don't understand it. You see? Never give up. Like, generally do not give up. Don't give up on anything you're doing. If you started something, unless you feel like it's not gonna actually work out at all, and it's like, it's like breaking down, and then yeah, you can like change your path and do something else and try something different. I feel like I'm talking too fast. Okay. What I'm saying is, don't ever give up. Like, if you started something, just keep on doing it. I swear to God, if you just put a little trust in Allah, Allah will, bring barakah into what you're doing and blessings. And actually, inshallah, Allah will bring easiness on you, and you will actually succeed in it. Just keep on moving. And obviously we start nothing in life with it being easy. Nothing in life is easy, you know what I mean? Let me bring you an example. For example, opening a can. Okay, it's not easy at first. You might like open that shit, get hurt with the metal, whatever. It might blow up in your face. It's not easy at the beginning, but once you start drinking it, God, I feel so refreshed, man, and I feel so energized. Like, I don't know if that was a good example. What I'm trying to say is, if we're gonna interpret that, what I'm trying to say is at the beginning it's very hard. It's very difficult. You're gonna like pass by a lot of obstacles. You're gonna jump into like a lot of holes. But as long as you keep going, you're gonna actually reach that spotlight in your path where you're gonna be like, Alhamdulillah, I'm actually glad and thankful that I kept going, that I kept moving on. And trust me, wallahi, that's the point of actually struggling in your journeys, is that once you succeed in it, you will actually feel the success. You will taste the success, because you tried so hard. You used all your blood, sweat, and tears in it, It's unlike something you got it like you achieved it very easily, You'd be like, yeah, okay, so yeah, what about it? Yeah, okay. You're gonna feel that. But if you actually worked if you worked so hard for it, you're gonna be like, Alhamdulillah, I am so thankful. Like, trust me on this, So I think these are the pretty much 3 things that I would say into like, I forgot what they were. y'all need to keep in mind that I have such a Dorian memory. Like, my grandma should not be worried about herself. But what I said at the beginning, I think, was patience. Yeah, tawakkul, and never giving up. And you might ask, how is this related to finding yourself? I would say is that right now, you're like, I'm not who I am. I'm just so insecure. I'm a little piece of crap. I don't like what I'm doing. I don't enjoy life. Blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. And the 3 things, or the 3 keys that I told you, are going to help you in order to be patient, first of all, and to eventually waiting and finding yourself. And tawakkul is you're going to tawakkul ala Allah and keep on moving in order to find yourself. And never giving up is that never giving up, you're going to keep on moving. You know what I mean? And you might ask, why did I actually make finding yourself such a big thing? You know, like, why am I asking, like, why did I make it like Finding Nemo or something? It's because us humans, when we feel like we don't know who we are, we feel like our entire life is pointless. We don't feel like there is a point in living. Like, I'm just like, I don't feel like I'm bringing anything to this world. Like, if I leave, nothing's gonna be happen. And that's, what? English is not Englishing today. Nothing's gonna happen, you know? So that's why I thought this topic was very important. And I just want to tell you guys that, just, you know, another thing, 4th thing I would say is keep on trying. That's not necessarily like never giving up, but I say keep on trying. Like, basically be willing to try out new things. Like, I'm someone who tried out, oh my god, like a lot of new things in her life, the good and the bads. Had a lot of new experiences in her life, the good and the bads. But at the end of the day, she was able to use these experiences in order to like kind of like form her little dysfunctional being self, you know? So that's what I'm trying to say. Like, try out new things. Just get into it, you know? Obviously, if it's haram, back off. If it's illegal, just don't. And if it's risky, obviously, just don't, you know? Just like kind of like use that little brain cell of yours, please. So yeah. So I genuinely hope that this actually helped you out. This is 17 minutes. I don't know, podcasts are supposed to be longer than that. But basically, I hope this helped out, and I hope that I covered all the points that should be like kind of like discussed in this regarding to this topic. I'm pretty sure the moment I'm gonna close this podcast, I'm gonna remember a lot of things. But that's okay. That's the point of this journey. We're gonna do mistakes and learn from them. This is a little lesson for y'all too. So yeah, I hope this helped, and see y'all in the next episode. Goodbye.